What's the meanest thing a woman has ever said to you? Matched on Tinder. Before I could even write anything she just said matched with you to tell you you're kinda ugly. Apostrophe. Should have replied with, same. It was like 2 years ago, but like ye should. Tapped me on the shoulder in a club and leaned to my ear to say that I was disgusting and that I should go somewhere else. Jesus Christ. As I tip my hat. Hello, laddie. Found out my soon to be ex-wife told her work colleagues her pet name for me was Paycheck. That cut pretty deep. Jesus Christ. What a goddamn shitty F person she is. I repeatedly minimized and teased your D so you wouldn't feel inclined to cheat. She was shortly after an ex. Imagine being that insecure. Lol. I could never. Probably because she was cheating on him and paranoid he'd do it to her. Had a girl in middle school look at me directly say, that is the weirdest looking kid I have ever seen. I remember feeling a mix of sadness and annoyance. She said it while at a table with her other 3 stuck-up girlfriends. That's when you go to the bathroom, poo in your hand and throw it at her. Go full primal. Return to monk. Comparing me, her BF of 4 years at the time, but now ex, to the type of BF she wants. I want a Lamborghini. Something exciting and fun. You are like a Prius. The safe choice. But if I go get a Lamborghini and crash, then I know the Prius won't take me back. Like, excuse the F out of me? Wow. She says that like she can even afford a Lamborghini. At the time she didn't even have a job. She couldn't even afford the Prius and I still stuck around. She sounds like a hatchback. Hey, don't hate on hatchbacks. I love my GTI. She sounds like a hunchback B though. First girlfriend I ever had told me I was just a placeholder until something better came along. Did wonders for my already self-esteem. You're the reason your father killed himself. And I'm glad I cheated on him. Despite the fact you came out. Love you too, Ma. That's the type of S someone only says when they expressly want to hurt you. Not because they believe what they say. As someone who knows this firsthand, what she meant was I'm the reason I hate myself. And the reason I'm saying this is because hurting someone else is the only time I don't feel afraid. Despite the fact that I know it will be yet another thing to hate myself for. I always liked him more than you. To be honest, I don't think I ever loved Joey. Have gotten over a lot of what she said to me, but this one still stings to this day. /U0001F90D. I can't even talk to you because you don't even know basic stuff. Apostrophe. Can't fix stupid. When I was expressing how I felt she was like, oh, so I have to also worry about your feelings now? And I know that sounds provoked, but I swear it wasn't. I legit just expressing me being sad. One time, I was trying to tell a girl I was seeing that she can be kinda mean. And it was starting to hurt my feelings. She goes, OMG. Stop mansplaining at me. I hate when people use terms like that, especially when they aren't even being used right. The way the Miss Us says I want a divorce, knowing full and damn well that she's not leaving, even when I offer to help her pack her bags, and it's just words that are meant to inflict pain, rather than an actual solution to a transitory problem. At that point, you just get a divorce. She wanted it after all. That's what I did. After being threatened with divorce more and more frequently, I finally did it. So liberating. My wife said she settled for me when we were having an argument. It wouldn't be that bad if I didn't believe that's how she really feels. I've never been able to put that one out of my mind completely, and even when things are good now I love her a little less than I used to. Then why are you settling currently? You could cut her deeper when the guy she settled for doesn't even want her. I asked a girl out at a bar and she laughed, apologized, and said, oh, I'm sorry, I just don't really see Asian guys as men. Pretty sure she was trying to say that she wasn't attracted to Asian men, but she was drunk and said it in the worst possible way. That's rough. Buddy, did your girl turn into the moon spirit too? Glad you got it, lol. EWW. I felt that it's been 12 years, I can still feel it. You look like you'll be a rapist when you grow up, edit. For everyone asking if she was right. No, she wasn't. We didn't know each other at all. She just popped that off randomly one day in a class in 8th grade. FWIW. It definitely messed me up more than I thought it would. A guy I thought of as my best friend told me you looked like a rapist to my face. He was spreading lies behind my back about me being a stoner and a drug addict. Cut contact without a second thought when I found out. People can be so shitty sometimes, man. Sorry to hear that. My abusive ex told me she had aborted our child because she didn't want to be infected by my repulsiveness. To this day, I don't know if she was lying about being pregnant or not. I don't really see you as a man, she said it in front of a group of our friends. Okay, I'll wait until I'm in my car to start crying. What did she mean? What is her definition of man? Mom, during an argument, God took your father away because he wasn't teaching you how to be a man, and he was a waste of breath. Ex-girlfriend, while we were breaking up, the only thing I'll miss about you is your dog. Apostrophe. I feel your pain on the first one. My ex-wife once said to me, why don't you just kill yourself like your brother did? This was less than a month after he had killed himself. First and only time I've ever felt the urge to hit a woman. I didn't, though. Twisting the knife and salting the wound, what a see. Better yet, salted knife. Yeah, her comment is too much. I'm not in love with you anymore. I'm only married legally, but in my mind I'm single. After 2 kids and 6 years of marriage. Wow. How long did you guys date prior to marriage and kids? 4 years. Had our first kid after 3 years of dating. Found my wife was cheating on me. We were arguing because she was going out with him that night. I just got back from a deployment. Gone for 6 months. Friend of ours came over and told me my mom called her because she couldn't get a hold of me. Told me my dad just had a heart attack. My wife looked at me and said, when it rains, it pours, and walked out. She's my ex, of course. Goddamn Jody strikes again. Sorry buddy, that really sucks. And military wives that do this are vile scum. Thankfully it didn't happen to me while I was in, but I had a good buddy that it did happen to. He was devastated, lost his marbles and dragged their mattress out into the front yard of military housing and set it on fire. She had slept with the guy in their bed multiple times. I'm glad she's your ex, and I hope your pops is doing okay. Thanks man. This was back in 95. Jody was another jarhead from neighboring Camp Lejeune. Mailed her, went on terminal leave, and then they told me where she was. Compete SHT show. Pops pulled through that one and lived another 15 years. At least I was home when he passed though, and not overseas. I asked a girl out a few years ago and she started laughing and said, "You look like a pig. Why would I ever date you?" Fun bonus. April Fool's Day of that year she came and asked me out and I said yes, and she said, "April Fools." Pig, and started oinking. Fun times. So you knew she was nasty and fell on April Fools. Screw her, but you did walk into the latter insult, bro. XD. I want a divorce and I'm keeping the house, said to my face as my father lay dying of a heart attack. Spoiler, she did not get the house. I dumped all my savings into a lawyer who uncovered a years-long credit card scheme she was running. One sign here, or you're going to jail for a Luan time. Conversation later. I was a free man. Edit. I didn't think this would blow up. Y'all are too kind. Edit 2. HREXT on blackmail crowd. Keep your pants on. I'm paraphrasing. If I wrote a play-by-play my comment would have been insanely long. Damn, that's rough. But I'm glad to hear it panned out for you. Still. Ouch. I think less of myself for being with you. Edit. Well, I didn't think anyone would read this, but it could use some context. So many years ago I started dating this really awesome girl. She was super smart and one of the most creative people I have ever met, and she had a great sense of humor. Problem was that we came from very different backgrounds. She came from a really stable home with 2 parents who had good earnings and very little drama. I, on the other hand, came from a very poor family consisting of an extremely alcoholic single mother and a drug addict brother. I was the most mature person in our household for as long as I can remember, and had to take on adult responsibility at a very young age. I was always embarrassed by my family and never really dated because I didn't want to expose anyone to the shitty parts of my life. But this time I went for it because I liked her so much. So we started dating. Initially hanging out at friends' houses and in public, but as things went on we need a place to hang out alone. Her parents were strict, and I wasn't allowed there without them around. So we started hanging out at my place sometimes, but only when no one was around my house. Eventually my mom overdosed again, and I had to put her in rehab, and this allowed me and the so to hang out at my place all the time. Things were going really well. But eventually she became suspicious as to why she had never seen my family, or why I never spoke about my family or any part of my past that relates to them. It was around this time that my mom got out of rehab, so I invited my so over one time to meet my mom. I knew it wasn't going to be good, but I thought I should just show her what my life is actually like. Well, my mom was wasted and was belligerent. My mom didn't even let my so speak because she was babbling. It was a struggle to get my mom to bed, but after I did, my so told me that she felt like I had tricked her, that I had hid all this darkness from her until she was emotionally invested. Before I could respond I heard my mom take a hard fall and I rushed to check on her. By the time got my mom back to bed, I came out and saw my so standing in the doorway about to leave, and that's when she turned and said it. I think less of myself for being with Jao, and then she walked out. Second edit. This was over 15 years ago when we were both very young. I hold no animosity towards her. She had valid reasons for feeling the way she did, but she chose to express them very poorly in an instance of duress. Everything always works out. She said at the beginning of our relationship, everything you love and everyone you know will slowly become mine. Thought she was joking. Ended it with, everything you own and everyone you love will slowly become mine. And then I'll leave you. Apostrophe. And then she does her evil laugh. It was something minor, like she stole my drink, then proceeded to say that jokingly. I told her it was kinda off-putting, and she chalked it up to a joke. But years later she remembered that phrase and said it the last time I saw her. Psycho alert. Deeply so. She used to punch herself and cut herself if I tried to leave. It fucked me up for a while. Was told she doesn't see how any woman will ever be attracted to me and that I should be eradicated from Earth because I'm short. I still deal with insecurities. I don't mind if she's taller than me, but damn man, that one sucked. First time meeting her through a mutual friend. Took one look at me in disgust, and then later on that night she drops it on me for no apparent reason. Apparently she thought I was insufferable. Short kings rise up, brother. He said rise up. Oh, megabits. My ex-wife and I were having an argument and went backed into an intellectual corner. Rather than admit I was right or apologize, she saw fit to simply unload on me every insecurity I had ever confided in her. At that exact moment I felt the last drop of love I had for her drain from my heart. Damn. Glad she's your ex. There are women out there that won't betray that trust. I haven't found one yet, but I've heard they're out there. So I hear. I remember being 18 or 19 years old with some friends looking at getting my first tattoo at some shop near us. We were standing at the counter cutting up and there were a couple of girls our age waiting nearby who we all started talking to. I don't remember specifically what anybody said until one of the girls stopped to look at me and say, "You know you aren't attractive, right? Sorry, but I'm just being honest. Would you rather I lied?" This is the first thing that came to my mind because I do specifically remember not hitting on any of these girls, and as a result, being pretty caught off guard when she said that and obviously embarrassed in front of my friends. I've never been rejected by somebody I had no interest in before, lol. Classic inferiority complex preemptive strike. She probably thought you were attractive and just wanted to knock you down a peg to make herself feel better. She sleeps like S, I'm sure.